Amazon MGM Studios is set to take creative control of the James Bond franchise. The announcement, which is sure to shake and indeed stir the industry, which was made Thursday alongside the news that longtime producers and custodians of the 007 franchise, Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli, would be stepping back. As per details of the historic agreement, Amazon MGM Studios, Wilson and Broccoli have formed a new joint venture to house the James Bond property rights. The three parties will remain co-owners of the iconic franchise, but MGM will have creative control. Since his theatrical introduction over 60 years ago, James Bond has been one of the most iconic characters in filmed entertainment, said Mike Hopkins, head of Prime Video and Amazon MGM Studios. We are grateful to the late Albert R. Broccoli and Harry Stolzman for bringing James Bond to movie theatres around the world, and to Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli for their dedication and their role in continuing the legacy of the franchise that is cherished by legions of fans worldwide. We are honoured to continue this treasured heritage and look forward to ushering in the next phase of the legendary 007 for audiences around the world. Wilson adds, "With my 007 career spanning nearly 60 incredible years, I am stepping back from producing the James Bond films to focus on art and charitable projects. Therefore, Barbara and I agree it is time for our trusted partner, MGM Studios, to lead James Bond into the future." Barbara Broccoli commented, "My life has been dedicated to maintaining and building upon the extraordinary legacy that was handed to Michael and me by our father, producer Cubby Broccoli. I have had the honour of working closely with four of the tremendous talented actors who have played 007 and thousands of wonderful artists within the industry. With the conclusion of No Time to Die and Michael retiring from the films, I feel it is time to focus on my other projects." In 2022, Amazon bought MGM for $8.5 billion, acquiring a vast catalogue with more than 4,000 films and 17,000 TV shows, alongside the rights to distribute all of the James Bond films. No Time to Die, the 25th James Bond film and Daniel Craig's fifth and final turn as 007, was released in 2021 and earned $775 million. Since then, despite endless speculation, and there has been many speculations in terms of who's going to be the next James Bond. Okay, so confession time. And I'm probably going to get ridiculed for this as a British person, but I'm not a big James Bond fan. I will say I have watched beginning to end the Daniel Craig movies in order, and I enjoyed them for the most part. I have seen some of the Pierce Brosnan James Bond movies out of order, but again, I've enjoyed them for the most part. I'm not a huge James Bond fan. It's not so much like I don't like the films or I don't like the character of James Bond. I just like there's so many movies, like this franchise has gone on for 60 years, longer than I've been alive on this earth. So I feel like it's kind of overwhelming to look at where to start with this franchise, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know where to begin, which version of James Bond I should start with. I might go back and watch some of the old James Bond movies at some point in the near future. I definitely want to rewatch the James Bond Daniel Craig franchise and the Pierce Brosnan franchise, because those are the two I know of for the most part. I do know of some of the older ones, but I don't really know them off by heart. Like, I know GoldenEye, which I think was played by Sean Connery, if I'm not mistaken. So what I'm getting at is that when it came to the news of Amazon MGM requiring the creative control of the James Bond franchise, I was like, okay, that's cool, that's interesting. Like, that came out of nowhere. There was no like speculation in terms of press, in terms of this news or anything like that. This came completely out of the blue. So I think that was interesting, because we live in a day and age where information is so easy to find, and everybody's got like a podcast, they got a Twitter feed, they can easily share information anywhere. So the fact that this news was kept very close under the radar and remained under the radar until the actual release of the article, until the actual announcement was made, I think that's rather cool. I've seen some fears that some people are kind of like hit or miss in terms of Amazon MGM requiring the rights, or at least creative control, of the James Bond franchise. Some people are worrying it will go straight to streaming. Many people feel like it might be turned into like a TV series franchise. So there's very like mixed opinions on this announcement. Me personally, in terms of the movie franchise itself, I don't see it going directly straight to streaming. I think there's always going to be room for a James Bond movie in the cinemas, regardless of what's playing at the time or when the release date is or whatnot. Especially after a long wait, you know, considering Daniel Craig's final turn as James Bond ended in 2021, so we're now in 2024, and as of yet, we have not got a James Bond movie in production. So I feel like Amazon will surely know that there's money to be made with this franchise in cinema, always, without a doubt, regardless of who's playing James Bond, or what the story is about, or anything like that. There's always money to be made with a James Bond film in cinema. Now, in terms of them exploring other avenues in terms of TV, if they wanted to do like a spin-off or something like that, I don't think it's really necessary. I don't think audiences would have much of a requirement for like a James Bond spin-off or a James Bond TV series of some sort, or an actual James Bond focus, or would rather a James Bond TV series focus on James Bond, like an origin story. But as an outsider, I am very curious to see where this goes. I am very interested in knowing who the next James Bond will be, because again, there's been like speculation after speculation, like every month or every week almost. There's like a new speculation in terms of this guy's going to be a new James Bond, or this is going to be a new James Bond, or they might have James Bond of colour, or they might have James Bond as a female. You know, speculation after speculation. Don't know when we might hear about a new James Bond movie in the works, or who might be the actual new James Bond. I don't have any personal opinions on who should be the new James Bond, but if you guys do know, obviously feel free to share them down below. But with that being said, that's the episode here today, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Don't be afraid to leave comments down below, especially in terms of this news. If you're a big James Bond fan, what's your favourite James Bond movie or book? What's your favourite James Bond performance by an actor? What do you think of this news about Amazon MGM requiring the creative control for the James Bond, for the future of the James Bond franchise? What do you think about long-time producers Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli stepping down from the franchise after over 60 years of commitment to this franchise? Overall, let me know your feelings down below. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye for now.